four related, one theme but four related aspects. First, I'd like to congratulate Rosalina and also June, because I sense here something vibrant in the industry.
Yes.
But at the same time, what makes my heart beat is that we don't have a pavilion.
Yeah. But now we are started already.
Yes.
We already joined the international.
In fact, I'd like to help document your experience for the industry development.
Yes.
Now,
Excellent,
which
yeah.
leads me to my second point. Can I assume you and June are the core anchors for TV? Because for me, in any industry, I'm looking for anchor persons or firms. Because without an anchor person or firm, which can look at scale, I just cannot, while our hearts bleed for the small farmer,
Yes.
if we do not have anchor persons or firms which can look at scale, the small farmer will not get far. Second point. Third point, we had a speaker before, Dr. Menchi Lagmang from LaSalle, who is into genetics coding. She has coded the genetics of coffee. So it may be useful to consider already going back to the genetic thing. And finally, Borge is here. She is with blockchain. I don't know if she can make a recommendation. Borge, can you raise your hand? Because she has in blockchain, and perhaps blockchain can have a contribution for Pili. I don't know. That's it. So
This
it's
is
more.
introducing high tech to the industry to accelerate productivity.
That's what
Right?
we are doing now. That's
Okay.
why we have the scientific conference. We gather all the scientists together. That was last year. So every 2 years we are going to do that.
But what
And-
Mr. Gomez is suggesting, perhaps we can target this on more specific example or pilot project, or so that it can be a model
Yeah.
for it to be followed and replicated, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's what we are doing now. We are starting really to look for partners who would like to be our partners to propagate this industry.
Help document your journey.
Okay. Actually, while I was sitting there, I got a lot of texts. Congratulating us. We were featured in Philippine Star today. My daughter, sabi lang to, my daughter because of the product. You can, maybe in the background there, in the Philippine Star today. Hindi ko pa nabasa eh.
No, but the suggestion is to put the science, make it more specific, science specific procedure.
That's what we are doing.
Okay. Yes.
That
Okay.
one is very good. That
Yes.
is a very good reference book.
Okay.
The
So,
proceedings, we are going to print that out later.
but the suggestion is work together with us,
Yep, okay.
because we can
Yeah,
help
we
you in the
would like
process.
to work with
Okay. You want
anybody
to say
who's
something?
interested in Pili.
Okay. Comment here.
Just like him, I'd like to congratulate you for having very strong passion and I would say for championing the cause of billing. Indeed, it is well known that Pili has a lot of local as well as commercial uses. But unlike, for example, table fruits, this one is specialized fruit. And specialized tree with very specialized, valuable products. Now, in the past, Pili was grown by farmers. They grew in the mountains, not for anything but their nuts. And so this has been going on until we have these researches about the different commercial products that come from Pili. Now, we are in that stage where we have become aware that one of our, let's say, indigenous, in fact, endemic plants in the Philippines is Pili. The first thing that we have to look into is how we can best harvest, process, and market whatever there is. And we are on that process. And now we are becoming aware that should there be products that really have commercial, when I say commercial, makes money locally and internationally. The next question is, of course, how can we produce more of it? Because in the end, once you have a good product and there is the market, the next question really is, can you produce enough for the demand? Okay, yeah, now, the first thing I'd like to say is, as a comment, Mr. Chairman, is that I grew up from Eastern Samar. And we have plenty
Already
of,
Pili there.
yes, and we are all in the wild. But for an agronomist, the first thing that you recognize about Pili as a plant is that it is a tropical, humid tropics plant. This thrives and produces in places where you have a microclimate that is of type A, which means continuous rain throughout the year, no distinct dry and wet seasons. And this is the characteristic where you find Pili in Bicol and in Samar, among others. The convenience of Pili, actually in Bicol as well as in Samar, Leyte, and so on, are coconuts and abaca, which means that these plants have the same climatic and soil requirements. I think that this is to be recognized in propagating Pili. It is very important that this is pointed out because you can have people who would be adopting, who would be planting Pili, and if they come from a microclimate that is not favorable, they may grow, but they will not yield. So this is, to me, one of the important considerations. One of the very reasons why commercially Pili is not yet attractive is really the unsure or unclear technology to produce sufficiently what the potential market can absorb. So it is, you know, the most common product of Pili locally is still the fruit. Most farmers grow Pili for fruits, and yet, you know, the yield per hectare, for example, compared to peanuts, would be very far. But if you grow Pili for heavily oil or for other purposes, then the whole purpose of producing Pili changes. Now, between plantation and monocrop and intercrop, I would think that you are better off with intercrop because Pili does not seem to like being completely exposed to the sun by itself.
Like being alone.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, yes.
No,
Comment.
but it, the Pili tree, even it is not exposed to sunlight, it will fruits. Even inside the coconut, the Pili tree, it bear fruits even it is not with the sunlight. That's the good one for the Pili.
Does it like full sunlight?
Oh yes.
Okay.
They bear fruits even inside the tree.
The only disadvantage the only disadvantage of Pili growing with intercrops such as coconut and forests, it tends to go up, and then it is high. The one in picture is relatively short, low, because it does not have the companion plants. And so harvesting, of course, becomes harvesting fruit. But may I say something about tapping? No? Yeah. Actually, really, Pili tree should not be cut for the reason. Yes. The reason actually of Pili can be tapped just like rubber. And there should be a technique of extracting the resin such that it will be high in yield but will not kill the tree. Maybe at least that.
Actually, we have
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ella from UP Los Baños Forestry. He's the one, our consultant for training on the tapping of the trees. We have the technology already.
Okay, are you through also? Did you comment? No.
But the captive Pili is only short one. The seedling that is already very high.
Okay, Mr. Pancho first.
Just a short question. Is there anyone using tissue culture breeding so we can hasten the production of seedlings?
Actually, one of our members, Dr. Erlinda Rillo, she's the one into the makapuno tissue culture, makapuno coconut. She's the scientist, a very awarded scientist. She tried to do the tissue culture of Pili. She has a hard time because Pili has the oil back, mas oily daw or something. But she's still trying to do the tissue culture.
Okay, Mr. Lantin. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to say that
You're mentioning about nursery and mother tree of Pili, the elite tree. It's not the seed, it's not the seedling from the seed that you propagate. Well, you propagate seedlings to be used as rootstock, and the scion should come from that mother tree. Any pili seed, you grow it, and better yet, do it by double rootstock. Pili alone, one rootstock is sturdy enough. In fact, it can withstand typhoons. Maybe that's why people is
Clarify briefly, double rootstock versus single rootstock.
rootstock, double.
No.
It's really with a very strong typhoon, the pili will break from the trunk,
Yeah.
but not get uprooted. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
It continue to grow.
the claim is it will fruit earlier and better. If you have the mother tree scion,
Yeah.
scion from the mother tree, it's even better. And that should be the protocol that we should follow. One expert said that we are behind in this. Every fruit tree that we should propagate should be from grafted trees, not from seedlings. Because Thailand has improved their fruit industry.
Practically all their
Because-
fruits are sweeter than ours.
Ah.
Practically all. All their
Because
fruits.
they don't produce it from seed.
Yeah.
They get it from the elite tree
Uh-huh.
and grow it
From the mother tree.
a native seedling,
Uh-huh.
and that's why they improve it.
Yeah.
So because
And
it
all,
is true to
theoretically, all trees can be grafted. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
all. There's no
Cannot
exception.
bottom any of those species.
Yes, there is a technology in the Bicol University in Bukat. They call it in arts. They market it in the mother tree. You do the marketing.
Enlarge is a method of grafting, yes. One more thing, the observation. I happened to go into the public market in Bai, and there is a merchant, we call it like a snake oil merchant, selling oil in a walk, just in front of the public, boiling oil in there. And it smells like a Pili, but it's not. The genus name is Canarium, but it's not any one of the Asperum, Lusonicum, or Ovatum. It's something else I forgot. And the oil is boiling, the pulp is boiling, and he just dipped his hand right into it. What? He did not get scalded. Yeah. And I bought a vial, and it was very, very effective in if you get an itch or something, insect bite, in 5 minutes it's gone. So you never mentioned that it is a medicinal value, at least that one.
Is it supposed to cure all itches? Is it going to cure all itches? All types of itches? No.
Is it supposed to cure all itches?
But it is good also to have, it is also good that we have the seedling, Pili seedling, because the mother tree will come from the Pili seedling. The good variety will produce a Pili seedling. So we can add new variety from Pili seedling.
So a grafted seedling can become eventually a mother tree also?
No, before it will be registered, it will come from Pili seedling. A new variety will come from the Pili seedling. A good bearing fruits will come from the Pili seedling to be registered to the NSIC. If we didn't have Pili seedling, we will not produce good variety also.
Okay, now, are you familiar with the one of Mr. Ingles? He's also this. Are you familiar with that?
He's our member also.
He's your.
He's our colleague. He's the one who study very well. And actually, he's the one who introduced me to the LME. I am into the Pili pulp oil. I asked him to do some research for me. As he did the research, he said, "Oh, I know, Mrs. Tan, I have a better oil than the Pili pulp oil." And he found out of the LME. And he's the one who told me, "Oh, it's better the LME oil."
He comes here regularly to distribute his products, you know. Yeah. Okay. Last question. Okay.
May I want
okay.
last
Yeah.
short? Excuse my ignorance, but can a variety graft can a sapling be grafted in a different variety mother tree? O kailangan same yung igagraft mo, same variety kailangan? Hindi. Any variety can be. I see. Okay, thank you. Any variety can be grafted.
Of the same species, not of a different species.
No, same pili but different variety of pili. Pwede. So kung hindi productive yung ano na yon, lagyan mo ng productive from another variety, it will thrive. Okay, good.
Yeah.
In fact, in our farm, I have already applied for 5 varieties to be registered, and it's already 1 year. It takes 3 years to be registered. That is requirement for the registration in SIC. 3 years.
By what?
New. That is, they will evaluate that for 3 years.
But
We have to supply them every year the sample. 20 pieces of Pili to be analyzed. After 3 years, if this is a good variety, it can be registered ready.
Is it possible for you to keep grafting, developing a better variety?
No.
You cannot. That's it.
That is will come from the seedling.
Okay. Any more questions? My last one. Nothing else? That's it. Okay. Before we recognize our speaker, I just want to say, you're talking of beauty products, no? If you've got a product that will improve beauty or that will make you younger or make you look younger, the demand will be unlimited. Okay, just remember that. Okay? Yes.
Nutraceutical, for food, for cosmeceutical, also
Yeah.
pharmaceutical. It also can be drugs.
Yeah.
There's a big possibility that there are already some pharmaceutical looking into this
Uh-huh.
because it can be a source of the components of the LME or even the Pili pulp oil. The
Okay.
components are antibacterial, antiviral, so everything is there.
Okay,
We
very
only
good.
need to do some research.
Okay.
And I have been, in closing, I have to remind that we have resolution, passed a resolution to BA. We have to prohibit export of our seedling because baka maunahan tayo. Because we are very slow eh.
Yeah.
Every time, you know, a lot of people come in already from Malaysia, from Indonesia. They keep asking me for, when we buy 1 container of seeds, or even the raw pili kernel, it can be propagated. That's why we already asked BA, they have to be strict in exportation of the seedlings.
Okay, very good. I'll ask Ms. Winnie to make the presentation. But before that, I want to remind all of you that we meet again next week, same time, same place here, with another repeat performer, Mr. June Castillo, again, who is going to appear to us on, again, Coco Milk this time. He has been with us here, I think 4 or 5 times already, right? But because of high demand for his talent, he will appear again next week, same time, same place here. So see you next week. Okay, Ms. Winnie, please do the honor.
Thank you very much for the very, very interesting presentation. And you've done a lot for the industry, for the Pili industry. We hope more can be done, considering that Pili is an indigenous tree, no? We're the only ones now with it. Sana we can push for more planting of more trees. Plant Pili. And then the technology can come after. Kasi hanggang ngayon, we cannot even supply the demand. I understand, no? Yes. So, for your presentation, ma'am, the Management Association of the Philippines, Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, and its special partner institutions present the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Rosalina S. Dano for her invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of the Pili industry. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
She's asking for a picture with everybody.
Can we have a picture with
How
Only-
we can stand.
Only the photogenic ones. Okay, but please give the books also.
The books
Yeah, okay.
from our chair. Also, you find this very, very interesting from our chair, Mon Illusorio.